Steven Spielberg has told me that it drives him crazy when he's editing on, a computer, that it happens so quickly. He doesn't have time to kind of wander and think about it. The fact that you can just keep recording over, you don't like it, record over. Film used to be kind of sacred. When you're filming something, everything would stop. It's like a shooting. Now with digital, it's like just keep rolling, keep rolling. It's not bad, but it's not all good either. There's a weird thing that happens when there's not the time required, and that takes discipline, our own self-discipline, to make sure that it doesn't sort of get ahead of us. I mentioned earlier, we all know too much crap that we don't need to know. Back in the day, if I went to go see a trailer for a movie, it was the first time I'd heard about that movie. I was like, oh my God, that's unbelievable. Now, you see a trailer, like, oh yeah, I know the guy who almost got that part. I know who had the affair. I know who got hurt during that. You know these things about the story. You've seen clips. You've read articles. It's a weird thing. And I'm not saying that there's not fun in it. I used to seek out those kind of magazines and stuff also. But we're kind of force-fed this information in a way that I actually think can detract from the actual experience. Because how much fun is it to go and be surprised? There's nothing better than that was awesome. Because you didn't come with these preconceived notions of what the thing should have been. And that's kind of, again, a self-discipline idea. So there's that. We're all kind of jaded. And I know that action movie effects doesn't help the cause. Because now, people are like, yeah, I do explosions on my phone, so what? About a year ago, I was at UCLA, and there was a screening of this amazing Harold Lloyd movie. I'm sure most of you know it. If you don't, go see it. It's called Safety Last. And this was screened at Royce Hall. 1,000 people in the theater. Now, this movie was made in the early 1900s. I am telling you, the audience literally was screaming. They were screaming, they were laughing, they were into this movie in a way that I have not seen a movie audience react to a film in ages. And what it was, I think, to some degree, was the knowledge that this could not be faked. There was no CG. It wasn't an easy thing to make it look real. Now, of course, Harold Lloyd, who was a brilliant guy, actually was using film tricks, but people were literally screaming because this thing looked and felt so real. And it's an amazing movie, and I think that's, it's a testament, to his genius. I will say that because of the technology that is becoming so accessible to all of us, that we're sort of in this time of almost reverting to a primitive time of storytelling, when we'd all sit around a campfire and tell stories. No one had better tools or technology than anyone else. Everyone basically had the same thing, which was, what's the story? And that, to me, is really the real magic, which is the story. Spectacle, as much as I love it, and will hopefully continue to do it and be given the chance to continue to do it, as much fun as it is, spectacle doesn't have an impact anymore on people. No one cares about, a spaceship flying past camera, unless you love the people on the spaceship. And that's important. In the early days of cinema, people would scream at a railroad coming towards them because they were afraid it was going to hit them. They didn't understand, no one flinches anymore. So I really think that it's easy to get sort of caught up in spectacle when that's really less and less working, which is kind of a good thing because it forces us to do better. I want to say that this is really the key thing. And it's the thing that my wife talked to me about before I ended up writing Felicity, which is it really is up to us to do the stuff that we love, that we really feel, that we really care about. The only litmus test I know, and it's just my own little thing, is when I get the chills. I don't know if you ever have this, but there's an idea, and when you have that idea, or you hear that idea, you just kind of go, oh. You don't have to even talk about it. It's the thing. You feel it, you know it. And in this age of just information and, qualifying things and visual things and being able to sort of put Band-Aids and bells and whistles, and you sometimes skip the most important thing, which is in your gut, is it great? I am guilty as anyone of not always passing that test. But I know it when it's real, and I know it when it happens, and I know it when I feel it. And that feeling, whether you're doing an app, TV show, movie, doesn't matter, is the critical thing. I'm not saying it can't work without it. It does. It has. But the greatest thing is when it's on your terms, when you love it, when you feel it, and you believe it, then it's the greatest thing. Because even if it fails, it failed on your terms. But the odds are, if you love it, if it gives you the chills, it will give them the chills too. And the worst thing you can do, and we all know this, is go, they'll like that. It's never going to work. So whatever you do, I would say it is our responsibility, the creators of content, of TV, movies, apps. It is our job, our imperative, to get the chills. On this app,